let's dive into your neck training, man. Why don't you talk about what made you want to start training your neck and then what that routine looked like for you specifically? Again, I want to make sure that's clear for Gary specifically, right? This is not advocate that everybody go do Gary's neck routine now, right? So, but for you specifically, what made you, because you're also a trainer. So for those who don't know, Gary's a personal trainer. He does this for a living. He's a professional. So yeah, why don't you talk about that?
So yeah, I was always curious, like why bodybuilders weren't training their neck. It's a muscle. And we do all this bodybuilding on all these other muscle groups, especially traps, like, but then you look and our necks for the most part are skinny compared to the rest of our body. It just didn't look right to me.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'd like to change that. So I just started, talking to Jason, my coach for training. I'm like, can you prescribe me some direct neck work just to get some growth in there? So it doesn't look like such a difference between my neck and my traps. Like I'm getting good developed traps, but I'm not getting any thickness here. And in the beginning, he was kind of like hesitant because, you can get injured training neck quite easily, actually. So you need to be very careful. But he finally, he caved in. He's like, all right, fine. I'll prescribe you some exercises, take it easy in the beginning. And that was after my 2018 season. So I've done that for like 4 years. And I've seen like really good results. And you could tell, like, even by my competition photos and video, I have width there now. So when I hit a most muscular, everything looks thick up here. You know what I mean? Especially those most musculars when you want to show size and depth. So it made a huge difference in my front shots. And I'm glad I did it. And it just feels good. I feel like my neck is stronger. Like I remember feeling when I wasn't training neck, like my neck felt weak compared to, it was like a weak link in my body. And I felt it and I didn't like it. So I decided to change it. In the beginning, I was doing body weight. So just the weight of my head was for neck flexion, lateral flexion, and then extension. Only the weight of my head for a while. I think I did that for like 1 or 2 months. Get my body used to that movement. And then slowly I started to add weight. I got a neck harness for the neck extensions. And I just use a towel on my head for the plate loaded flexion stuff. I know it's hard to tell on here. And also lateral flexion this way, a plate towel here. And I just progressed in weight like any other muscle group. So now I'm progressed to like hitting it twice a week, anywhere from 2 to 4 sets, depending on the training phase, if I'm trying to bring it up or not. At the moment, I'm not. I'm pretty happy with the neck muscularity, and I have more pressing needs. So more volume needs to be allocated to like quads and back, like we talked about. So, and the rep range, I would say from like 12 to 30 seems to be good. I don't want to go too heavy, like 4 to 10, because that's an injury waiting to happen, I think, for me. Right. So I try to keep the reps high, like more like calves reps, like those higher reps for the most part. And I'm happy with it. Again, if I don't like preaching to anybody, but just be super careful if you do try this, because you can hurt yourself. Make sure you're isolating your neck and you're not like jerky movements. That you do not want that for your neck. So anyone who wants to try it, start out with just no weight and, get the feel down and slowly increase the weight. 2.5 pounds, 5 pounds. You don't got to go crazy with like 10, 20, 30 pounds.
When do you stop a set? That'll be interesting. Is it when you start to feel a pump in your neck and you're like, okay, this is enough? Or do you go to the point where you can't even do one more, i.e. RPE 10? Like, how does that look for neck training? Because it's interesting, right?
Yeah. So I treat it like any other muscle group, except that I don't go past 8 RPE if I can help it.
Okay. So you'll leave a few in the tank.
Yeah, I would say 2 to 3 in the tank is fine. You're still going to get the stimulus. And like any more than that, like we talked about going to failure, it's going to increase injury risk, especially with your neck. I don't think it's needed.
And are you doing that? Because you mentioned now you've progressed to twice a week. So obviously if you're considering this, maybe start once a week, but would you do all those exercises? So flexion, extension, lateral flexion. Are you doing rotation as well? Or are you not doing it? You're not doing that?
I'm not. I actually didn't do it. That might be a good idea. I haven't dabbled in rotation yet.
Are you doing that all on the same day, by the way? Or are you splitting up like flexion extension day 1 and then lateral flexion day 2? How does that look?
So it's, let's say day 1, it'd be neck flexion, neck extension, neck lateral flexion in one day. So it is all in one day. Okay. And that's the order that I do it in. Okay. So flexion, extension, lateral flexion. I think that's the best order. And then I'll just do that twice a week.
Okay. And then from workout to workout, you're actually trying to progress from workout to workout in that sense with the same rep range. Like it's not two different rep ranges or something like this. It's the kind of the exact same exercises just done twice a week in the exact same rep ranges. You're just going for that double progression basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Cool. Nice. Nice. Yeah, no, it's interesting because you're one of the few who I've spoken to who does train their cervical, like they train their neck. So that's yeah.
Is there anyone else training neck these days?
Like other than a few influencers that I've seen that are preaching neck training, like Greg O'Gallagher, Kino Body. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Yeah,
I know the name.
Yeah, he'll talk about that, and a fellow Torontonian. And then Jeff Nippard has preached it on his channel. So just like two guys basically that I heard talk about neck training. Okay, so sets per exercise. What's that look like? Like how many exercises, how many sets on average? Give an example. Like let's take your back because you wanted to bring that up. So how did that look? How many sets? How was that dispersed over the week? Because you said you train it 3 times per week, right?
Yes. All body parts that I want to bring up is going to be like